Hey guys, it's Matt Walsh. I just wanted to announce that moving forward, you can expect episodes every 2 weeks, and any updates on our schedule will be from our Twitter at The Table Party. So make sure you're following. And if you want to hear your name in the show, share the show with the hashtag Table Party. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and let us know what you think down below. See you soon.
We gotta keep some integrity for episode
Please,
one.
Joel.
We are keeping all of this in.
I'll cut that.
Tell me
Okay.
how it is, baby.
Sorry.
Oh, this is a nightmare. All right. How do I start an episode? Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
Oh jeez.
Matt, it's like you're always stuck in second gear.
Kelsey.
I thought y'all were my friends. Yeah, I think it is a bright and hot, dusty morning as the radiant heat of the sun just buries the town of Las Vegas. It is huge. People are up and down the streets. It is extremely loud as many older people come bustling in and out. Hold'em, I want to ask, can you describe a little bit the kind of casino that you work in?
Yeah, so it's one of the more mid-sized casinos, I would say, in the city. Not one of the grand ones that everyone goes to, but it's still got some size to it. It's got a bit of a weird theme to it, to try to attract people. It's a pirate themed casino.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
If I could come up with a better pun, I would. So let Shiver Me Timbers is the name of the casino until I come up with something better.
Okay.
But per casino guidelines, only the staff and waiters and servers have to dress up like pirates. All the card dealers are still in their standard casino dealing outfits with a vest and a bow tie and all that.
Are there machines called booty slots?
Booty slots.
Jesus criminy, Chris.
God. You don't play for chips, you play for doubloons. Doubloons.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Oh my god. Right.
So yeah, that's the casino.
Right.
Hold'em
Right.
works at all the tables have kind of a piratey theme to them, still with the green poker cover thing on it, felt thing. But they're all decorated like treasure chests and pirate ships.
Okay. I wanna get a scene of Hold'em specifically kind of working his magic, as you will, kind of dealing them. What does that look like at the table?
All right, everyone, place your bets right now. Place your bets right now. Dealing the cards out.
Yeah,
He's very vocal. He's very vocal for a dealer.
Yeah, not very stoic like the other ones. Very almost like
No,
an
he's
auctioneer.
he's very, very approachable. Yeah. All right, now. Okay, we got the flop right here. Anyone want to raise your bets?
You see, there's about 5 people at the table currently, all dressed kind of with similar attitude. About 2 people fold and about 3 people, the first 2 call, and the third one, which is a man wearing sunglasses and long, thin hair, kind of that actually just hangs on loosely down his back, actually raises, and the other 2 call that raise, and they continue.
All right, time for the flop.
With that,
Wait, flop. We did the flop. That was the river. My bad.
With that, you see he's the one who raises again, and the other two call it again, and it continues.
All right, hey there, big spender. All right, here comes the river. Anyone got any fours? Because we got 2 fours on the table right here.
Now, is Hold'em's just kind of like casually like dealing? There's no magic in it whatsoever.
Not at all.
Okay, I think,
Casual.
and this isn't something I would, I'm gonna give you guys the benefit of the doubt as characters and as a keeper. If I don't know, if I fuck up rules, I fuck up rules. But I feel like, I think with your diligent eye of being trained as a professional card dealer, I think you're able to see that this gentleman who's been raising, has, like you see something like shiny up his sleeve for like a moment. You're not 100% sure what it is for a second, but you see something.
Okay.
With
I
that.
I really don't want to use a move this early.
Sure. With that, he raises again. One person folds, and then the other one calls in again. The other one is this younger woman who is wearing these like round glasses, with this like shorter kind of gelled up hair.
Okay. All right, that's it. Flip over your cards.
All right. With that, they flip it, and she actually loses, and the man takes the pot. And with that, he actually begins to walk away from the table, taking his collect.
Enjoy your doubloons.
And I think with that final hand, as you kind of continue, you're about to deal the next hand. An older friend who's actually been working here about the same amount of time as you have. You can only guess she was hired around the same time. She is a younger woman who wears these real cool sunglasses. That is the best, most professional way I can describe them.
All right.
She's dressed as professionally as you, as another car dealer. You know her as Tex. And you and her have kind of had like this camaraderie of kind of coming on around the same time, starting around the same time, and she comes over and she actually pulls off the sunglasses to reveal that she is wearing an eye patch to go along with the whole theme of the piracy.
The whole pirate theme. Hey, you don't have to wear that eye patch, right? That's just for the other staff here.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a stick up your ass like a. All right, I had a pirate joke in there somewhere. And
you mean like a peg leg or something? Is
yeah,
that...
like a. I guess like a. It was like a walk the. I don't know. And she kind of
that started off so well, then it just
that was perfect. She's kind of like nervously stammering, like she was so confident walking over, but there's just this like charm about how like she just utterly like just fails her jokes, and hey, the rest of the she kind of pulls you aside. The order wants to talk to you. For just a moment. I'm not totally sure
talk
what.
To me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't seem like you were in trouble. So I think it's all good. I'll just take over for you, and then you can go see what's up.
All right. I guess I go to the back of the casino where like the order's entrance is. The back door.
She puts up like her fist for like a fist bump.
Yeah.
Before you go.
I give it back to her, of course.
And she goes, nice. And then she takes
Nice.
over the table. After that is you head over to the back of the casino, past a couple other dealers. Do you have an idea of the visual of maybe the back of the casino, or possibly what that might look like?
I imagine we would definitely have to go through like a couple secret areas, like first the like casino staff area, and then like maybe it's by the kitchen, like away from most of the tables, most of the action.
Yeah,
Again, to try to be as secretive as possible.
yeah. I feel like you um, you actually go over to like the staff kitchen room and you actually open up like the fridge and
Yeah, that sounds right.
you open the fridge and then it looks fine. It looks like half empty. There's like a couple bottles in there, and you actually pull.
And then I move the mustard to the side.
You move the mustard to the side and you pull like a little playing card out and like give it like a swipe along the side of the fridge.
Perfect.
And the back of the
no one else is ever going to touch that mustard.
nope. No, it has been there. Like the expiration date on that is like incredibly old, and it's like it's nasty. You can
It's
just
nasty.
tell. And yeah, the back of the fridge opens up into this like well lit, very like modernized like metal hallway.
Fancy.
And yeah, and as you actually make your way down, you have been down here, I want to say only a couple times before. I definitely
Okay.
think during your initiation, and we can of course flesh that out, as well as anytime you've been given direct orders from the order. You've heard about them sending? How much you've heard about them, like little things from other dealers about them sending other dealers on possible, trips, and even on like getting specific orders. Has Hold'em ever gotten like spoken to them about like been given like a mission or a specific order, or is this maybe more like the first time?
This would
happened?
definitely be one of the first big ones. I think he's had missions before, and this is kind of a general thing, maybe just to make sure that you can handle them. But missions to distract certain parties as their dealer, but nothing that is like what I assume is about to happen, or nothing that would require him to leave the casino, I should say.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a pressure here and a little bit of nervousness.
Oh, Hold'em
And
is
it
very nervous.
It is a silent hallway, as your footsteps are the only thing that echoes down this hallway, and it almost catches you off guard as actually your phone gets a little buzz text message, and you look and it's from text, and it's from text, and she's like, "You got this," and then it's like the like thumbs up and like okay emojis, to kind of like root you on a little bit, and it's nice.
I don't really like those two together.
Okay. she is very like, she's trying her best, but like there is like, she does not think her jokes and her like comments through.
No.
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 As you continue down the hallway, you make it to these two very much larger doors. I would say the ceiling's probably about like 8 feet high, and the doors actually stretch up to the ceiling. And as you open it, yeah.
Oh, I was didn't know if I was supposed to do something. Continue.
No, I think just as you open it, you the first thing that you hear from the silence of the hallway you were just in is rushing water, as the walls change from these shiny metal walls to this stony interior, as it leads into this much larger cavern-like room where shining pool of water glimmers along in the center of the cavern, as small waterfalls actually drain into it from different sides. There are stairs that lead up around the sides of the cavern. I'd say this cavern's probably about maybe, I want to say like the size of like a smaller auditorium.
Okay.
And there are stairs that lead to different levels, as different waterfalls pool into it, and even though there is no, it's almost like the water itself is the thing lighting the room. There are what kind of almost takes away from the natural look of it. There are lights on the side, electronic ones, not like, torches in the wall, but it's dimly lit by those, but it is almost the water itself that lights the room. And you can kind of look up and you see a lot of humanoid figures that you've seen before in this room, but this is the most you've seen collected, that all kind of round along the sides of the room. And they all stand at different levels in the cavern, and at the center right in front of you stands one figure that everyone else seems to be facing, that is about maybe 30 feet up from the pool of water, as you are on kind of the other side of the pool of water. And they are all wearing these quite elegant cloaks, but they don't cover all of it, as you can kind of see where their necks are and the kind of very nice suits that they wear underneath, except the one at the front and the center is a much older gentleman who you have seen before, and he's old. He has a balded head, and he looks like he's almost blind in one eye with a scar over it. And he is in full suit. Hold him. Please, enter.
I enter. I walk closer, with my attention definitely on this guy in the middle.
We have seen a vision as a collective.
What kind of vision?
Of extreme horror and sorrow. There is a small town near here, and I come to you as you have worked with us for a long time now, and we know that it is your place of residence. Flats is in a slight bit of danger, as we sense a small hiccup in fate. There will be something coming to life that should not be, and we need you to take care of it.
Take care of it? That's all you're gonna give to me?
I believe it will be clear once you step into the water. Now, you have not stepped into this water before.
I have not.
What do you want to do?
Is it like just like the waterfalls on the side of the room?
The waterfalls are on like the side of the room and like below where all of these people are standing, and it leads to this like pristine, like almost crystalline pool of water, as almost like the floor itself is like this gravel that kind of leads to like a very static shore that you could walk very easily into. Okay.
I look up at them kind of for approval, and then I'm just gonna walk forward into the water.
Sure. Do you take your shoes off or anything, or are you just walking right in?
I think I'm just walking right in. Like, I'm probably too like anxious and freaked out right now to even think of that.
Okay. You're probably wearing your waterproof pirate boots anyway as a part of your uniform.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That rubber.
You gotta walk the plank.
Go walk the plank.
As you actually begin to step into the water, one step in, and you don't immediately feel, like as if you were to step into an ocean, the kind of way that it would soak into your clothes. But you do feel almost this, like, shock. This, like, like this kind of slight static shock you feel when you touch a fabric that, like, almost jolts your entire system for a moment. It's not painful, it's not alarming, it is just, if you were not awake before, you are now. Yes, it's wet. And as you begin to step in, the depth actually continues to drop. You're up to probably your chest now.
Okay.
And do you go completely under, or are you going to stay where you are? And it does not feel... Actually, wet isn't the right word, because it doesn't feel wet. It feels almost like thick air with the way that it almost feels on your skin.
So, like, humid.
Yeah, I think...
Yeah.
I think with that, I'm going to keep going.
Sure. And as your head immediately, descends into the water, you see almost like an ocean in front of you. I want you to roll plus weird.
All right. First roll of the game. Let's make it a good one.
Let's make it weird.
That is a 6
wait,
plus 2.
Okay, good.
So an 8.
Okay, that is a partial success. You look out into this ocean, and there shouldn't be like this never-ending like oceanless void around you. But it all just immediately begins to fade as darkness begins to surround, and you feel this slightly sharp pain in the front of your head for a moment as you kind of close your eyes in that moment of pain, and as you open your eyes again, you see a flash almost like of pictures in a presentation that are almost surrounded by this static. You see almost like pictures in a presentation. You see snapshots of different images. There is an image of a golf club hitting a golf ball, and there is an image of what looks like the silhouette of a dog, but missing one of its back legs. You see an image of a pet store employee opening for the day, and you see, lastly, almost like a X-ray vision of what looks like to be a young man who you can almost see his own nervous system almost fighting within its own body. And with one more snapshot, you see that dog again, but much closer. Almost as if its face is only inches in front of yours. And as it growls, it blinks. And its eyes turn from these dark puppy eyes to these extremely narrowed predator eyes. And with that, you feel an extreme jolt in your head as you now feel like you immediately lose the breath that's in your lungs, and you can't breathe. And the only other way out is to swim back up. As you're now surrounded.
It takes me a second to get my bearings, I think. Mm-hmm. Do I need to act under pressure at all, or can I swim up just fine?
I don't think so. I think you should be able to swim up fine. And as you actually reach the top of the water, you feel it, and the part of your body that is now in the air does not feel wet at all.
Okay. So I come out of the water and I'm totally fine.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think with that,
I look up to see the guy in the center. Is he still there?
Yes, they're all still there.
Okay.
And
what the fuck was that?
That is the best explanation we could give. There is no other, better picture than snapshots of a vision. We do not know what you've seen. That is for the mind's eye to share with you.
Oh,
and
okay.
One of the other hooded figures along the side comes over, and actually pulls back his hood, and you recognize him as one of the other dealers. There, he has kind of short, gelled black hair, clean kind of beard, kind of like 5 o'clock shadow, but very handsome. As he takes in one hand a cup, and actually like takes some of the dust inside, and on your forehead, he takes his thumb, and with that dust, he draws almost like the shape of what would be almost like a football shape, like an eclipse, and then puts one dot in the center. And then, using his palm, he erases it. You know this dealer. You've definitely seen him on the floor. You know him, actually, as Blackjack. As the older gentleman definitely announces, Blackjack, please show Hold'em where he will be going and explain to him exactly what else he could be doing. And Blackjack leads you out of the room.
Oh, this is like a right away thing. I don't get like my break first.
What are you, part of the union? What is this?
Blackjack grabs you around the shoulder and actually begins to walk with you.
Hey.
And
hey.
Don't worry too much about them. They're all very mysterious and oogie boogie, and
they are really old.
Oh yes, they are extremely. I would absolutely love nothing more than to even renovate this place further. I think they have the right idea, but I think it's a little too
a little much.
A little much,
yeah.
Yes. So I totally get where you're coming from. It's first big mission. They like to give visions. We're going to set you up with anything you need, money, weaponry, and this should be a piece of cake. And we, of course, they only trust the people within the actual order in order to take care of these visions. They sense tragedy. They sense logical outcomes and branching destinies and yada yada yada. All I try to do is I go there, I work using the imagery that they've given me and see where that leads me, and usually I find the issue. Usually it's some punk who's bought some firearm, or it's someone who might be standing on a bridge, but they mean good. It's good work that they're trying to do, trying to keep people safe and trying to keep the peace.
I understand, like why they want to do this and stop this, but Blackjack, I saw some weird shit.
Oh, I'm sure you fucking did. He leads you into another room where it leads over to some supplies. Take the rest of the day off. I think you definitely deserve that, at least. And whether I definitely suggest just working with those visions as a beginning, as information to start. And if you need anything, you can. And he gives you like his number. You talk to me. I've seen you hang around Tex. She'll help any way that she can as well. And you let us know. All right.
All right. Thanks, pal.
All right. And I think with that, he actually steps back into the fridge, gives a wave goodbye, and shuts it behind him. As weird as a shot as that looks.
I love it.
With that, I want to jump to Cliff. It's a new day. It is bright and shining, and the golf course is impeccable. You have made sure the grass on this baby is looking good. Right? Does the golf course have a name, or is it like
Yeah, I was thinking. I've been like brainstorming that like for the last 45 minutes, and I've come up with Cactus Valley Golf Course.
Cactus Valley Golf Course.
Yes. And would you want me to describe it, or would you?
Yeah, go right ahead. Describe it.
Because I was thinking like it's per its name. It has a set of trees being obstacles. It has a lot of cacti scattered around. Not too dangerous. We kind of. We've had to put up signs and stuff that say, don't touch the cactus, don't be an idiot, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's there's a lot of sand dunes, a lot of places for people to get, chipping their ball into a tough place. The rough is rough, and yeah, and it's not as it's beautiful, but it's certainly not as vibrant as other courses that are probably in the other that are far away from the desert, that are very that are full of lush greens. It's a little bit more of like a died off green that is throughout the course, but it's still very gorgeous considering the area, and it's considered one of the more tougher courses I think in the country.
All right. I think today you are caddying for two clientele. One is someone who's actually been there for a little while. They don't talk much about their personal life. You know them as Luna. Very, very professionally dressed, suit and tie. Hair is up, very much here to kind of get away from whatever professional work, and through little bits and pieces that you've put together through the couple years that they've been coming here, is they definitely have some sort of government job, yet you've yet to kind of piece together exactly what they do.
Okay.
As for the other, and they come maybe once every month or two, just to kind of get away from work, while the other clientele is one that you are very used to, as he tends to spend a lot of time on the golf course, as it is Clyde.
Okay.
Clyde Sherman, who kind of, as you are kind of moving along, and you got like your little golf car or golf cart.
Yeah.
I believe that it's kind of it's kind of almost a humorous contrast of Luna's very stoic nature and Clyde's almost childlike excitement of getting to every hole, even though he has definitely hit this golf course almost like 100 times at this point.
Okay. All right. So, and do you know like where we are in the golf course at the moment? Is this like early on, or are we near the end of?
I would say it's about like 3/4 of the way through the golf course.
Okay. So like we're like on hole like 14, 15.
Yeah, I'd say hole like 14. It's been kind of casual, small talk kind of conversation.
Okay.
And
I'm like driving the golf cart, and I look over to Clyde. And I'm like, well, 10 over. I mean, that's better than some of your other outings. You're doing pretty good this time, Clyde.
All right, listen. All right. Now, I'm telling you, Cliff, it's gonna be my week, and you're gonna see.
I listen. You tell me that every single week, and I'm rooting for you. I think that I think you'll do good, but I just right now I'm just. You just gotta work on your swing a little bit. You just put a little gusto into it.
Cliff, it is nothing about the swing. And he actually pulls into his like golf clubbing bag, and he pulls out this very shiny new golf club. Cliff, I want you to meet Shirley, the love of my life. She is the thing that's gonna bring my game up, and by up I mean down, because the game is golf.
That's the way to look at it. That is the spirit right there. All right, so if you think that that tool is gonna work for you, then let's do it. Let's see how you do. And Luna, you're actually seven under. That's actually one of our better scores.
They actually turn around to look at Clyde, and they say, "It's all about the swing, not the club. Do you consider too much about the angle that you swing at?" And Clyde's like, "Nah, I just give it the old 1-2. You know, it's all in the shoulders when you swing it." And
I mean I appreciate I appreciate that you think that you figured it out, but it takes time, Clyde. You gotta this is stuff that you have to build upon. That you have to really get the swing going, and just it's not something that you can't just do, and Luna's got a good point. You gotta just work at it. You gotta perfect it.
I think with that, you guys get to the next hole. Clyde kind of begins to scramble to get ready, while Luna's very patient, and Luna turns to you and says, "Cliff, where do you think the swing comes from in the body?"
Well, in my years of experience, I think a lot of it comes from the hips. It's you got to get the hips right, and just make sure you kind of almost with the hip you kind of turn your body and you give it a good old swing. And usually, if you're able to perfect that, and not many people can, but if you can do that, yeah, you do well, and I think you've done too well with that too.
They actually look over at Clyde, who's like putting the tee down, and he's doing like a weird kind of like dance as if like he's like getting ready to swing, and his hips are all over the place. And he's kind of like rotating his like shoulders in like a weird kind of dance. And Luna turns and like, "Yeah, I think it's in the hips."
Well,
but
one thing I like about Clyde is that he does his best. He does what he can. I've tried to teach him many times how to do it. He just doesn't, he doesn't want to go about it. But he has fun, and I can appreciate that.
My only other worry is I think the other just as important place where the swing comes from is, and she kind of takes her finger and kind of taps her noggin, is in the head.
That's a good point.
And they step out of the golf cart, getting ready for the swing. And as you're, grabbing the rest of the bags, making sure that everything's set up for the hole, Clyde gives a swing, and this hole is near the back of the golf course. It's definitely near one of the edges. And lining the back of Cactus Valley Golf Course are a few like some trees.
Can we change it to golf club? By the way, I just kind of realized how golf courses sounds very generic.
Yeah, that's all good. As this perimeter kind of we'll say that it's a fence that kind of lines the surroundings of the Cactus Valley Golf Club. And right near where Clyde's shot was, you actually all see for a moment, where there's actually kind of a rip, like the fence itself is broken. And you've seen it before. You've seen this creature before, kind of as it crawls under the fence, and all three of its legs, you see this very kind of playful greyhound kind of begin to like run across the golf course.
Wait, hold on to play. The greyhound's back.
Does he usually come by onto this course?
Yeah, he's a stray. I feel terribly for him, but he seems like he enjoys playing around here. It just doesn't do best for our golf course or golf players anyway. But hold on, let me chase after him.
Yeah, he definitely has this like air of like being astray about him,
Yeah.
as he's kind of like rolling around in the dirt, um, and and then like once he sees like you running over, it becomes this very like cartoonish like run around with the dog, to try and like get him to shoo, and
Yeah.
he runs off the course kind of towards the back of the club, where more of the maintenance equipment is kept. Um, so it's off the course,
Okay.
unless you wanted to chase it further completely off the property.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my god. That dog gets faster every day. Okay. Sorry. We're go back to the round. Okay. Just shoot. It's alright.
You see at this point, Clyde has kind of ignored your stop and is actually near the hole, where it seems like he's hit his ball over there, but he's near the hole and he's doing that thing where like, you know when you can't like you're using like your like smaller club and you're trying to like get it in the hole, but you're like so close every time. He's like just keeps hitting it and like it keeps getting close. And he's like, come on, please.
Clyde.
And yeah, and I think the rest of the he finally gets it in, and I think the rest of the holes go pretty smoothly, and and then you guys eventually kind of make it to the end of the 18th hole, where everybody's scores are done, and you're the owner of Cactus Valley Golf Club, who you've worked under for a while. Their name is her name's Rita, Rita Cruz, and she begins to walk over, and she just has this like befuddled, like kind of confused but frustrated face, and then she sees Luna and greets them, and then does the same to Clyde, although maybe not as affectionately, in terms of acquaintance. And how do their scores look? How'd they come out?
So I would say that I said that like Luna probably finished around like a nine under overall. I think Clyde just completely bottomed out, went like 20 over. Like especially hole 14 was rough for him.
Yeah, I think he's like crying, like he's holding Shirley, and he's like, Shirley, I thought you'd be the one, but maybe one day I'll find the one.
You can visit the golf shop and pick up another one, Clyde. You'll get there someday.
And Rita actually comes in for a minute. Actually, Cliff, I wanted to talk to you about in the lobby. The vending machines we keep in there.
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
There is, I don't know why, but someone or something keeps stealing snacks from the vending machine. Okay, you know what? And she actually grabs you and like takes you aside. I think I'm going crazy because I'm checking the security cameras and I don't see anything. I see all of the items only on the bottom, like, she looks like she has like her brain is like racked on this. I've seen the items on the bottom rack of the vending machine drop, and then the bottom opens as if like someone's opening it, and then it just closes, and then the snacks are gone, but it's only the bottom row of the vending machine, and I cannot for the life of me figure out where they're going or what. I know I think it's got to be, I don't know, if some like a hooligan or maybe someone who's a little less fortunate has been like messing with the security cameras in like some weird way, because I'm not good with technology. I don't know what they'd be doing.
Yeah, I'm not too I don't really know technology too. I'm a little the goo gads and the gadgets out there now. I'm not really like I don't really know that too well, but I
I can't, like, my grandson's not gonna be like, he's not gonna visit until like Christmas, so he can't check out the security cameras. Or I gotta hire somebody then.
Yeah, well, you know what? What I could do, and I don't know. I have to check with my wife on this, but I mean, I could stay over for the night just to see, because it's been happening every night, right?
Cliff, I can't ask you to do that. That'd be crazy. I don't listen. Don't you can go home and relax with your family.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna ask you to do that.
Oh, it's
Well,
fine. This is a second home for me. Have you ever noticed I have a bed in my office? I nap here all the time. It's fine. I could totally. And my family, they're probably sick of me right now. They don't need me to come home. I can chill out here, and let's see what happens. I could probably just catch whoever's doing this, and we'll all, you won't think you're crazy anymore.
um, I'll take care. I'll see what I can do on my end. And she starts to walk like, I might just take you up on that offer. All right. And then she kind of heads back in, and Luna actually steps over and says, "Hey, I'm not supposed to. Well, I legally cannot talk about my own work, but if you see anything strange, if you see anything out of the ordinary," and
Oh,
and
all
they
right.
and hold on, and they pull out a card, and they hand it to you, and they say, "Give me a call."
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll absolutely consider it. Thank you, Luna. And I look down at the card.
It very like the most like minimalist like business card you've ever seen. All that's on it is just Luna, Luna, and then their phone number.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a ring if I see anything. Thank you.
I think they give you a hug goodbye, and then
Yeah.
put on their sunglasses and head out of the golf club, as Clyde is still kind of just crying over his golf club. and
I wave at both of them as they kind of leave.
I think with that I think that's how we'll I think we'll move away from the Cactus Valley Golf Club.
Okay.
And I want to ask Jeremiah. I want this. I don't want to force anything, and I want it to be a kind of fun in between improvisation. Improvisation. I can't say that word. It is my character flaw. What is Jeremiah's? Is Jeremiah new to the town? Is this him entering in it today, or is this more he's newer and it's more his day to day?
You mean what we're about to do?
Yeah, I'm. It's mid afternoon.
I would imagine that Jeremiah's not been here for very long if it's not his first day coming in. So
Where does? Okay.
I know it sounds very non-committal. I apologize, but I feel like it could be that he's here maybe a few weeks, maybe a month and a half. So familiar with a routine, but still familiarizing himself generally
Mm-hmm.
with the area. I think that would be like a safe in between.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Does he? Where's his living? Is he living in like a motel, or is it an apartment, or?
So I picture it either as like a motel, like you pay every day just to stay, or he's settled in almost like a mobile home, but not one of the ones that's like a literal RV, more so the ones that are just like on very temporary foundation, and it's kind of like almost like a trailer park, but a little bit more suburban. So one or the other, but definitely not like a high roller.
Which one do you think?
Which one do you think?
I like the setting of a motel, but if you
Yeah,
really like,
nope. Go
but
with
like
motel.
I find I didn't even think of like a trailer, and that also really interests me too.
Hey,
but
you
we
tell
can-
me. You're the master.
Yeah, I think we'll say Jeremiah's been kind of just kicking it at the old motel, and it is it's the Sunshine Motel. That's actually on one of the it's on the main road. And it's not the nicest place to live in town, but it's definitely living quarters. And Jeremiah was one of the characters I probably had the least planned out for, which I think is
Fantastic.
good for right now. I know. I want to actually what it does Jeremiah's kind of day to day kind of look like.
What does Jeremiah look like?
No, Jeremiah's day day.
So, the way that I picture it is that Jeremiah I picture his existence being very, lonely and a little bit frustrating. So, even in the day-to-day in small tasks, since he's had to uproot and start over, and since he seems to be drawn to areas that are a little bit more seedy and where more criminal activity takes place or things that aren't always on the up and up, he's wound up in this kind of outskirts of Las Vegas area where he kind of is disgruntled and wakes up, has his morning routine, and then kind of just wanders into the area of Vegas that's all casinos and dealings, and just kind of floats around looking for anything that'll catch his eye, maybe some excitement, maybe something he can get his hands into, but has up until this point not really been successful. So then he just goes home, has his evening routine, and calls it a day and starts again the next day. So he's kind of looking for a break.
Yeah, I think it's about late afternoon, and I think it's been kind of a rough day for Jeremiah. Jeremiah's on his way home from Las Vegas down the main road, and actually near the main town square, while the motel is really only 5-10 minutes up the road. There, something runs out into the middle of the road in front of your car, and I want you to make a real quick act under pressure roll.
Like an actual roll, roll things.
Yes.
Do the thing. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. So you're gonna roll plus cool.
Okay. Plus cool, you said? So
Yes.
7.
7. That is a mixed success. Just barely.
It's about how my life's gone.
That was super close.
Keeper's going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. I mean, I'm not going to go too hard because I did throw that one directly at you. As you're driving, some kind of animal actually bolts out into the road, and you immediately swerve to the side, and while the car is all right, you've definitely hit something.
Shit.
It's it's definitely some sort of animal that was attempting to run across the road. And this isn't like a deserted part of town. It is definitely a there are a few people on the sidewalks, so they definitely saw something happen, even though they're not quite sure. What do you want to do?
All right, so I take a second to collect myself, decide whether or not I just want to pull away, because honestly I don't really want to deal with this shit, but I guess I have to. So I choose to exit the vehicle and investigate whatever I've hit.
Yeah, you actually you take what do you take a look at first? Your car or the animal?
My car.
The car actually doesn't look too bad.
By the way, did we establish what kind of... I'm sorry if this is off track, but do we know what kind of vehicle I'm driving? Because I have an imagery in my head, but I don't know...
We did off book.
Okay.
But what does the vehicle look like now that we're outside of it?
I think it looks like an old shitty pickup.
Okay.
Like it used to be red. We don't really know what it is anymore. It's something. It's mainly sun damaged and peeled and looks like it's hit quite a few animals and just kept going. So bumpers held on with electric tape, that kind of situation.
Okay. I like that idea because that feels very Jeremiah.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
The car's all right. in terms of like which object had
Questionable.
in terms of which object like took the harder hit, the animal or the car, it was most definitely the animal. There's a little it doesn't seem like anything's necessarily wrong with the car. You definitely like were able to pull over in a way that you didn't skid or hit anything else. And then you look over to the animal and you see kind of sprawled on the geez, sprawled sounds like a really bad word. Just laying on the pavement, you see a dog, a greyhound, missing one of its hind legs.
Oh shit! I did that.
As it looks like you can actually almost see some of the skid marks, and now that we're actually able to get a closer look at the dog, you can immediately tell that this is a stray that's been kind of surviving on its own for a while. Its skin is its fur is kind of patchy in places. You could tell that this dog has it's been sick before. It has been kind of surviving on its own. It has a couple scratches. But the biggest thing is that you can kind of almost see a couple of the tire marks over the dog. And the big issue is you can see one of the front legs is broken, and the neck of the dog also looks broken as it is laying on the street. And a couple people on the sidewalk are kind of like looking over, like, like covering their mouths, like, oh my god, that's like so sad.
Okay,
this dog.
you can choose to cut this part of what I'm about to say out, but it sounds like you were giggling throughout this entire description, and it's
No, I am
mildly
I'm just
unsettling, just so you know.
No, I'm sorry. I'm taking it slowly, and
Okay.
I'm trying to be as descriptive as possible.
Because you're
to
like,
give you,
and
clear imagery.
its neck is broken. Like, and I'm like, okay, Matt, whatever. And by the way, its spleen is a puree on the sidewalk.
No, I think it's also too. I'm also trying to, because I know what happens.
That's fine. I didn't mean to call you out. It just made me laugh. I was like,
No, it's okay. Is there anything you immediately do? Then I think in that moment of hesitation, you actually see the body twitch, and the front leg, you hear a sharp crack as it realigns, and the body stands up, and its head almost slouched over. You hear an even sharper crack as it stands back into place. And it looks absolutely fine. There are still skid marks on the side of it, but it looks like it's breathing and panting. And it looks over at you with like that kind of silly dog face, still panting, and then runs down the street.
Wow.
Okay.
I think I get back into my car and I just keep going. I just kind of like, I feel like Jeremiah is just at a point of his life where he's just like, I have no time for this. Like, and I think that he's seen some shit that it almost like, he takes a moment to be like, what the fuck is that? But then just kind of is like, you know what? I don't have time for this, and gets back in his car and leaves. Because if the dog's fine and he doesn't want to get in trouble, he didn't even intentionally make sure the dog is fine. It just happened to be fine. Honestly,
just cut to Jeremiah just sitting in the motel, just like sitting on the bed, like head in his hands, but like face still like staring at the wall, like
I've seen some shit. Like, that's just, yeah. Like, honestly, if you didn't say, so I'm glad that you said what you said before I got a chance to react to the hurt animal, because my first instinct as Jeremiah was to just like step on its neck and end its misery.
Oh my
like, that was literally
God.
where I was going to take that. I was like, just fucking end it. Because if it was suffering and Jeremiah's seen some shit and he doesn't really want to deal with it otherwise, he's just like, you know what, the dog's suffering, I'm just going to end it. But our wonderful dungeon master made the decision for me, and the dog's fine. So we're gonna pretend that I never had that choice, and we're just gonna move on.
Okay.
And-
I was just curious, but I took that hesitation as like, you know, if you're taking a moment to think, what would my character do? Your character's taking a moment of like, what the fuck do I do? You know what I
Right,
mean?
no, and I'm glad that the dog fixed itself. This was great. And I go home and I contemplate the existence of everything, and then I, hit a half bottle of whiskey and I call it a night. And that's fine with me.
Okay. I think as like the end of the evening falls on this day, I think it has been an extremely long day for William.
I'm just laughing because everybody else has had like meaningful conversation, and I just like ran over a dog and then drank some whiskey and called it a night. Like that's the epitome of my first day on the job. And I'm okay with it, but it's like it's wild. All right, that's all.
That was the most Jeremiah
Yeah,
introduction.
I'm alright. I'm okay.
That you like hit a dog, but the dog just walked away.
I contemplated killing it myself, but it fixed itself like a computer that just kind of restarts and it's fine, and I'm okay with that. We're just gonna move on.
You just hear these like as you heard like the fax machine.
I stood
rebooting.
there and I was like, should I turn it off and on again? Like, all right, it did it itself. We're all good. We're just gonna move on. All right, William, what's up?
William, it is late at night, and I want to talk about just the kind of night or just the day that William has had and how incredibly busy it has been.
Well, first thing in the morning, he has to get up and get ready for his morning to afternoon classes. He usually takes up to like 8:30 to 2:30, so it's about a half day of classes, and then he has to go straight to work at a warehouse that he works at with name and address withheld for reasons. And he just kind of lumbers about. At this particular moment, he feels like he's caught like a bit of a cold, so he's wearing a face mask while he's at work, a medical face mask, and he's just kind of on his way home from his long day at work, being sick.
Yeah, and we've discussed this already too. You feel like there is like this sharp pain in your chest as you've kind of gone through your long day, and there's probably nothing you want more than to rest right now.
Yes.
As you can't help but like the whole day you have been coughing and hacking. I also want to talk a little bit too about just where does William live?
He lives in I'd say in a kind of a subpar apartment complex that's in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
I think the moment you get home, you feel this like utter exhaustion, and like you've been like coughing and hacking. I think you probably try to like take some cough medicine if you can. I think it soothes a little bit, but your chest just hurts. And I think too, before you even have a moment to take your shoes off, your phone rings, and you see that it's your mom. What do you do?
I took a moment just to really, really just decide whether or not I'm actually going to pick up or not. And then I just do it. I just pick up. And I say, hello.
Now, when was the last time you've talked to your mother?
It's been about 2.5 weeks.
Okay. All right. And what kind of how would you describe the William's relationship with his parents?
It, not very good, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
They have they have kind of, I'd say, squared off over a few elements of his personal life, and he ever since he moved out, he's just kind of been trying to distance himself as much as he can.
I think this is definitely something that I think was on me that I should have hinted at a little in the setup, but I think that it's also good to get it out now. And I think as um, you actually pick up the phone and say hello, you hear your mother on the other line, and hey, honey, I I just wanted to call and see how your day was. Um, I know you've been working a lot, and I just want to make sure that you're all right.
I kind of let off a very light sigh, and I'm just kind of done at this point. Just I'm too exhausted, but I try to just keep things civil and say, "Hey, mom, my day was kind of bad. I'm kind of in rough shape right now, and I just really wanna get to bed as soon as I can."
Okay, all right. I I've been talking with your father, and um, we'd really it's it's coming up soon, and we'd really like if you came home for Thanksgiving. I know we haven't talked about that at all yet, but and I haven't talked to your father explicitly about that, but I'd really like for my son to be home for Thanksgiving.
At this point, he's just kind of feeling a little bit of heartache, and he's just like, "Why does she have to bring this up now?" And it's not like that he doesn't want to talk to her. It's just
I feel
he
you.
has a hard time doing so, and he just kind of takes a moment to think, and he says, um, "Listen, mom, I do you think we can talk about this another time? I know Thanksgiving's coming up, but we still have a few weeks just to discuss what our plans are going to be. I really just don't feel very good right now."
Yeah. I'll leave you. Um, don't be afraid to call me. Okay.
Yes, mom. Yes.
All right. Bye. And she hangs up. And I think I think that well, you know what? Um, Actually, I'm going to. This isn't something that a keeper should usually do. I want uh, I want to put this in your hands, Gabe, for a minute. Do you think with the relationship that has been so far, do you think um, William's mother would end the call with "I love you," or do you think she would kind of be not sure what to do and hang up, or do you think it's like out of just like natural conversation, or it's sentimental, or what do you think?
I have a feeling that she would say "I love you," but purely for the fact that ever since the falling out that they've had, she's been trying to smooth things over, but it's she's trying but failing really badly because she's already hurt Will a lot, and he just can't really find the heart to forgive her at this point.
Okay, all right. That was my gut instinct, but I didn't want to make because that kind of involves the choices you've also made as a character, and I didn't want to you know overstep. And I think with that final "I love you," she hangs up. Um, and you're kind of left in your room. Uh, and I think you get ready for bed, and you still feel this, like you are like sweating like it is no one's business, and you are having like trouble breathing. Um, it is it's rough. but I think you're still kind of. I get the feeling you're still of the kind of mentality of, like, I just need to keep getting through my days, college, work, and like it doesn't matter what happens. So,
Precisely.
yeah. Um, I think you start to begin to snooze off when I imagine the apartment in my head. I imagine it's very small in my head, and there's like a small bathroom, and the only other thing is like maybe like a smaller kitchen area, and like a room. And that's at least in my head. That's how I envision it, and we can of course change it. But I imagine like one window in the bedroom,
That's
and I
exactly what I was
think
thinking. Yeah.
and I think as you begin to kind of nod off, you actually hear this almost like slight like sound at the window, like a knock, and then like another knock, but not like with a knuckle, like something like much finer is almost like picking at the glass. Do you
Um,
think? Do you? I mean, you could. I'm also giving out the. This is to everybody too. If like a choice comes up and you guys decide to also just do nothing, that is also a fair choice as well. There's no like, it's not like turn left or turn right. It's you guys can do anything. So
okay.
I don't want it to be like, all right, there's a door in front of you. Do you go in like that kind of railroad? I know like right now it is a little railroaded to kind of set up the characters in the town, but I think but you guys are of course completely free to put up a middle finger to me and do whatever you want.
Well, if I knew that was an option, I would have just stepped on the dog.
Oh my god. Oh no.
And then give the dog a little kiss.
With my heel.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Let's
God.
remember that this is definitely the character Jeremiah. Let's just remember that.
I hate
This is not
dogs.
reflect-
No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not reflective on Kelsey.
Jeremiah is a cat person.
Yeah.
So yeah, you hear that kind of picking at the window. What do you want to do?
I tried to ignore it at first, just kind of seeing if it'll stop eventually. But after enough hearing of it, I try to get up, but my movement is extremely labored, so I just kind of fall back down.
I think yeah, and as you kind of fail to get up, the picking actually stops completely. As almost like a moment of suspense, you're not sure what, and it is painful to move. It is painful to breathe, and your eyes kind of move over to the window where the sound was coming through, and you actually see almost slip under the window something extremely weird. You see what almost looks like a flat fluid caterpillar, neon, almost purple and blue in its light, as you can almost see just the almost like white that like moves through it like fluidly, like liquid organs that as it moves, and it crawls down the side of the wall from the window, almost like an inchworm, and it moves pretty fast, almost actually in an inchworm, that in the sense that it kind of curls up, but it's slithering at the same time, as if to utilize any movement that it can.
At this point, I'm just kind of nodding in and out, but my thoughts are like, what the fuck is that? And I try to move again,
I think
but it's to no avail.
um and I think with that it actually you see it crawl over the floor and then almost look up at you, and at this point you don't know if you are hallucinating. You don't know what is happening. And you feel this sharp pain in your right wrist as it, almost like a missile, leaps off the floor and penetrates your skin. And you see it almost like crawling under a blanket underneath your skin as it's moving up your body, up the elbow. And I think the most painful part was definitely at the wrist, but it is just as, I think, terrifying to see this thing leap at you and now attempt to crawl up your arm toward you. What do you want to do?
Now, it's going inside my skin, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, I'm just kind of starting to freak out. Like, what the fuck? What is even happening? Like, just panicking. But I still can't move. And now, is the pain consistent
if
or?
It was much more at like the entry, but it is like you feel this kind of pain as it crawls through as well. I mean, if you want, I can. Um, hmm. You know what? Let's actually see how this goes. I want you to roll, even though it isn't using magic. I want you to roll plus weird.
Okay. I got 9 plus 0, so 9.
9. All right, that is a mixed success. I think you begin to kind of freak out as you are attempting to move and you are not finding the strength to do so. And you are tossing and turning in your bed and you are sweating and you are not entirely sure what to do. And then all of a sudden, this lump on your arm as it was traveling up, the pain stops. And it almost like seeps in and disappears, and you're not entirely sure if you hallucinated or you're dreaming or what, or if this was some sort of just strange actual reality or your head's just making it up. And I think with that, you are left to fall asleep. And you have this very strange dream. This dream of like you're moving down a river. And as you move through the river, everything behind you disappears. However, you know where to go, and yet the river is not taking you there. And there is something about the water that you are swimming in, this river that you are moving downstream, that you somehow have control over where you go. It's beginning to get deeper, and you lose your footing, and you fall into under the water. And as you can't see anything now, you feel this jolt through your entire body, like your nervous system has just been ignited in flame. And it is the most painful thing you've ever felt. As if every cell on your body was screaming out in pain. As if something is completely rewiring your system. And I think the second that you try to scream in pain, it's morning, and you wake up. And you are doused in sweat. You are laying in a puddle of sweat. What do you do? You are no longer in pain either.
Uh, do I have the energy to get up? Okay.
Yeah,
So the first.
your your chest does not hurt anymore. You don't feel like you need to cough, and you feel a lot more healthy. And even though William wouldn't have recognized it as pneumonia, this pneumonia spell has passed. And you've gone from on the edge of death to feeling okay.
So the first thing I do is sit up and just examine the spot where the creature just went inside me.
It is clean. There is no there's nothing on your skin. It is as smooth as the rest of your skin. There's no wound, there's nothing.
So I suppose I get out of bed and just go over to the bathroom mirror just to see if anything, like what I look like with this sort of just overnight change.
You look I mean, you look very sweaty first. um and you you look okay. You've I think before, like yesterday, you looked incredibly pale, and even like you haven't been eating the best, you haven't been taking care of yourself, but it looks like a little color has kind of returned to your face. um I think too, um I feel like a natural instinct too, as well as like a college student, might also be to check the time. And I think that's just like a natural thing we don't think of. And I think when you check the time, you see that it is like 11 something in the morning.
I I just you know how in Metal Gear Solid the exclamation point just appears over your head. That that
Yeah.
exact thing happens, but figuratively, and I I don't even know what to do at this point because I've already missed like two of my classes, and I'm just wondering, should I just call in sick even though I'm not sick anymore, or just go to the rest of my classes? And I kind of mull over this for a moment, and I just decide to email my teachers that I'm taking a day to recuperate.
Yeah, I think as you're kind of panicking over what to do before you even get the chance to email anybody, I think a you feel something kind of in the, like, almost from like at the base of your neck, like this, almost like a tiny vibration. It's not bothering, but it feels like something internal, and you hear a voice in your own head, and it speaks to you. And it says, "This body was dying. It was illogical to continue that cycle." What
Uh,
do you do?
I I just kind of stop in my tracks and think to myself, what? Uh, did I think that, or? And I'm just kind of stewing it over in my head, like, what was that? Is someone here?
I think you hear the voice again. "This is incorrect, and this is not the way that this should have gone. You should be dead, and yet you were the closest vessel to me. Consider yourself now in company." Table Party has been brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at The Table Party, and find more of our work at Team Chaos Productions. See you again soon. Later.